So good morning, Sensei. Thank you for joining me on my podcast today.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much.
So I'm with my Sensei Zen Takai coming from the island of Kyushu in southern part of Japan. And we met about a month ago on Instagram. And I got very curious with your work. First of all, I found it very, very beautiful. And then I saw that you had a hashtag Reiki. And since Reiki is one of my main practices, I was curious. And so that's how we started that conversation. And when I started like a trial class, what I found interesting was, for me, it was more than a martial arts, like a physical class. And I was really drawn to the philosophical, historical, cultural aspects that you shared with me very early on. And also the shamanic aspects. Like we talk about a lot about elements and nature. And so that's really the reason that I wanted to study with you. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your story? People can find it on your website, but I'm just curious about how you started doing this. Are you doing this full time?
Okay, thank you very much. And my name is Zen Takai. I'm a samurai master. My family was, my ancestor was a samurai. Okay? And still now, my father is a sword master until now. And around 400 years ago, one of my ancestors became a ninja who works with a Hattori Hanzo. And that's why we have a both technique, a ninja technique and a samurai technique. And I'm teaching samurai technique now. And the important point is that this is called Bushido, and samurai technique is Bushido. Bushido is always changing the generation to generation. Okay, important point. Samurai technique is not just murder technique. Important thing is that the philosophy and way of thinking and how to connect with the daily life. This is very important. That's why I'm teaching samurai technique in modern generation. Okay, and this is my job.
Okay. So how long have you been doing this as a full-time job?
Full-time job is maybe 10 years around.
Okay.
Before, yes, but because I'm start training from 3 years old. Training 3 years old, very, very
With
childhood.
your father?
Yes, with my father. Yes, because my first memory is that around 3 years old, I saw the sword in my father's room. I felt a very big feeling about a scary feeling and a respect feeling both. And it was a very big inspire, a big memory for me and start the training. And but just when I was teenager, bit samurai style is feeling like a too much traditional style, feeling like an old style, feeling like a bold. That's why keep the training, but I started another thing. It's play music and singing in the band and something. And but yeah, when I'm 27 years old around, I go back to my hometown again. And I saw the father's movement and the samurai technique something. And I had a more objectively eyes. I changed my mind and I start samurai training again and start teaching. This is my history.
So your father was also a teacher?
Yes, teacher still now.
So okay. So he still teaches now. Amazing. Do you train with him?
Yeah, sometime, right.
Okay. And so when did you start teaching online? Because it's still a little strange to learn martial arts online.
Yes. Okay, and still online is maybe around 1 year after the COVID. Okay, because before COVID, most important thing is that just meet physically met with the student and the training is very important. But I little bit changed my mind, changed way of thinking because samurai martial arts very very deep relationship with us philosophy, not just physically. That's why this is very important point for teaching with a philosophy and talking with the talking. Of course, my English is not enough, but I want to try to challenge online and teaching the philosophy with a philosophy. That's why I started 1 year ago, from 1 year ago. Right.
Yeah. And so now do you have many students?
Yes. For example, today is 10 class day in the day.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
Yes.
And where are your students from? Are they from all over?
Yeah, so many USA and England and Chile or Finland and something. Yeah, so many country. Yeah, because so many country people very curious about the samurai. It's very I'm so appreciate. Right.
Yeah. Do you do group classes? No.
Okay, it's not. Okay, my style is and also my family style is for just private. It's very important because samurai philosophy is there is no answer. This is very important point. And finally, final meaning, ultimate meaning is that you have to catch your answer in yourself. This is very important. That's why each person different way of thinking, different philosophy, and different body. That's why private lesson is very important. Of course, sometimes doing a group lesson, but basically we are doing just private lesson.
And so the lesson, I agree with you. Also, as a teacher, I feel like everyone is the transmission is very personal because people have different needs and there are different stages in their journey. But do you have like a set curriculum that you teach, or is it really very different from student to student?
Yes, very different. Because
very different.
Yeah, because feeling like a freestyle. Feeling a freestyle. Getting an inspiration and making a curriculum. This is very important for me because each person is a different way of thinking, and day is very different. Yeah, that's why connecting and catch the feeling and concentrate, catch the feeling and making a curriculum. It's very important for me because I don't have answer for student. Okay, because Bushido is an important point is that there is no Bible. Okay, no Bible. Student have to catch student's answer themselves. Okay, that's why student and master's relationship is that study together. This is very important point. Study together. Okay, because master is not feeling like up to down, feeling like sometimes on a hard sports club team or something that master is very strong master, strong teacher, and feeling like up to down, just up to down. But samurai technique is just study together. It's
that's interesting. I like that. I feel the same way. I learn from my students all the time. So I feel right.
Very good. Yeah.
So you mentioned that Bushido does not have a Bible. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, right.
Is that what you said? So can you tell, but people don't know what Bushido is. Can you explain what that is?
Okay. And Bushido's important point is that, I'll teach about training process, samurai training process. Samurai training process, there is a 5 process. First element is a ground. Ground element is that basic training, how to stand, how to grip the sword, how to swing or something. And the next element is a water. Water is a feeling like moving like water, moving technique, how to body operation, how to control the body. And the third one is a fire. And the fire element is described about the emotion. Because fire looks like emotion, angry emotion and sad emotion, always feeling like a fire. Okay, and the fire element is that how to control the emotion. Okay, and the fourth level is that wind. Okay, wind element is that because wind is just catch the feeling. Because we cannot see the wind, we cannot touch the wind. That's why you have to catch the feeling wind. Okay, feeling. This training is feeling like just a sixth sense training. Okay, and the last one is the sky. Sky element. Sky element is that sky kanji character is the same meaning that's empty, nothing, just void. Okay, and this is very important point. Okay, because we have no Bible, no Bible. That's why we have just process. Just 5 process: ground technique and water technique and fire element and the wind element. And finally, you have to catch your answer in yourself. Okay, and the Bushido is a no Bible. There is a just process. Okay, that's why it's a sky element. You have to catch your answer. And the no Bible and no answer. This is very important point for samurai martial arts.
So when you say you have to catch the answer, you're talking about self-discovery through the process, or?
Yes, just process. Okay, yeah, just process, because answer is nobody know. Just you have to know your answer. You have to catch your answer.
What is the question? So usually when there's an answer, there's a question.
Yes, it's very important point. Okay, and the question, the answer, yes, right. Okay, most important thing is that, and finally, we cannot get an answer. Always question. It's no problem, because always we are on the process. That's why we can connect to the next day. Okay, perfectly. If you catch the answer, it's just stop. It's just stop. Or it's
the end.
End. It's very dangerous way of thinking. Dangerous way of thinking. Always in the process. That's why you can move more flexibility. You can change the mind anytime. It's an important thing. Okay, and it's a process is very important. Okay, that's why samurai way of thinking is that always feeling like a 60%. Okay, 6% and the feeling
60% effort, or
yes.
60% completion, or
okay, and 6% meaning is that all feeling like always process. 6% is like okay. For example, okay, this is talking about the happiness. Okay, this is talking about happiness. If you feel happiness something, okay, you want to try more getting a happiness more. For example, 90%, 100%, sometimes 150% want to get a happiness, but please stop the 60%. Yeah, that's why you can connect to the next day. Okay, always little bit less. That's why always you can connect to the next. Okay, always in the process, still die. This is very important point for samurai training.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
It makes me think of. I'm sorry. It just makes me think of. Have you heard of tantra? Tantra.
Tantra, but I don't know where. But I heard it, but I don't know where. Yeah.
So the idea is that we have the chi, right? The life force energy, and for men, they when they're in like a love making, right? And then they release their chi through the semen. It's very depleting. They empty their life force. So when you practice tantra, then the man, he will only like when he reaches like 70%, he has to stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought of that. But it's like a bit similar, maybe.
Yeah.
And he conserves that. Yeah, okay. So back to my question about Bushido. According to the website, it's the way of the samurai warrior, right? It's the way of the samurai warrior. And so you're saying that the samurai has to live by this code of process with those 5 elements. Is that
yes.
right?
Yes, right. But important point is that Bushido is a no Bible. That's why, and our family have a 5 element and a process, but another family is a different process. And
okay.
Yes, that's why Bushido there is a no Bible. And important point is that, for example, Bushido is a samurai way, is a history of around 1,000 history. And for example, Kamakura generation is maybe 600 years ago, around. Kamakura generation, the samurai they were leader of the society. Samurai was a leader of the society. That's why Kamakura generation's Bushido is that how to control the balance, how to control the people. It's a feeling like a leader, and how to control the society. That's a Bushido. And the next generation is that Civil War generation. It is called the Sengoku generation. And the Sengoku generation is a fighting generation. That's why the generation's Bushido is just fighting skill, just win. just fighting and very, very physical technique. It is called Bushido. And after the Civil War generation, it was Edo period. Edo period is very peaceful generation. And that generation, the Bushido is more educational for the child. Education for the child. It is called the Bushido. Okay, and after the Edo period, it's a Meiji. Meiji era is a this is very important point for samurai history because foreigner people come to the Japan for fighting, and they have a gun. That's why whole samurai people change the weapon, not sword. We change the gun. This is very big turning point for samurai people. Because this is just evolution. Of course, in Meiji era, if you just keeping a traditional, maybe we lose the war because they have a gun. Okay, I won't say this meaning is that generation and each generation different Bushido. Yeah.
So what about this generation? How do you describe Bushido in our present generation?
Yes. Okay, and the present generation, this generation, modern generation is a very peaceful generation. Okay, and of course, if you bring the sword on the outside, it's illegal. It's illegal. Okay, and if you cut somebody, it's illegal. Okay, it's illegal. Okay, that's why now modern generation samurai culture and the Bushido is a culture, just culture. Okay. But how to use it, how to use in modern generation? This is very important point for our family. Okay, because the samurai martial arts is not just physical technique. Okay, if this techniques are just physical, this is just murder technique. But Bushido and the samurai techniques include philosophy. That's why we can use in modern generation. That's why I teach Bushido in modern generation.
That's one of my questions that I was asking you. What do you think the place of your teaching, like Bushido and your teachings in particular, what is their place in modern day Japan? What is their place in the world?
I have one memory. This memory is maybe 10 years, 5 years ago around. And one American guy come to the dojo, my dojo. The guy
which dojo? In Tokyo?
In Tokyo. 5 years ago, I was in Tokyo. I have a dojo in Tokyo, Asakusa. And one American guy come to the dojo. He's an American guy, and maybe 26 years around. Okay, and he has a mental handicap. And he loves samurai. And he come to the dojo, and he's little bit talking too much, and he cannot see my eyes. Just talking himself, and he was very knowledge about the samurai history, about the capoeira something, and very, very knowledge. But we couldn't communicate with him because of feeling like not watch my eyes, or just talking himself, anytime. But I start the training and the samurai training. Okay, and the samurai training is sometimes hit each other, and catch the feeling and not against the feeling, and the feeling like a sympathy, getting a sympathized feeling little by little. Okay, this
sympathize
point is
with your opponent.
Yes. This point is very different for another martial arts, but making a sympathized feeling, it's very important. How you have to sympathize with the enemy. That's why you can get the information from the enemy. Okay, this is a feeling like a paradox. This is feeling like a paradox, but very important point. Okay, and we are doing the hit each other, use a wood sword. Yes, and suddenly he stopped the talking, and he looks my eyes, and we connect each other. Okay, and I felt a very deep emotional feeling. Okay, also I thought he is also deep emotional feeling. Okay, because we connect, and when we connect, he stops talking, and last time he just bow and very polite attitude, and he go back to US, and I felt that this is very important turning point for me because this method is not my method. This method is from 400 years ago. Our ancestor, Japanese ancestors. Okay, it's a real samurai people. Okay, and real samurai people techniques connect in modern generation, and feeling like I'm a bridge. I'm just a bridge. Just bridge. And I think this is very important point for me. Okay, because 400 years ago method and we can use in daily life for foreigners. He is not Japanese, but we can connect each other. This is very big turning point for me.
I see what you mean. Yeah. So it's a bridge between the transmission and people who want to learn.
Yeah.
I can see how it can help with connecting to that sky feeling and the emptiness and creating that inner space for healing actually. So I'm curious about how you relate to younger Japanese, because I noticed that, for example, in the Philippines, we have Filipino martial arts, but foreigners are more interested. It's popular in Europe, it's popular in the US, but the local Filipinos are more interested in maybe Brazilian jiu-jitsu or some other foreign techniques. So are the younger Japanese interested in learning about what you're teaching?
Okay. It's unfortunately, Japanese young guys are not interested about samurai.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that ironic? It's always like that. Okay, so you don't have many young Japanese students or Japanese?
Not so many. But they're a huge student. But important thing is that sometimes in Japanese comic and the movie and some things are too much violence in the samurai movie. Sometimes fighting and kill so many and sometimes so many blood. It's feeling like too much violence. But the real samurai is, of course, different. Making a balance and keep peace. This is most important meaning. And this is our traditional history. But they don't know about it. Feeling like just soldiers. This is very important point. That's why first I want to describe this culture for the world, and I want to come back again to the Japan to teach for Japanese young people.
It's part of the process.
It's a part of the process.
It's part of the process. Like we have our personal process and then the collective, then the national identity process. So I noticed that you, again, in one of the interviews, you were saying that the real way of the samurai is different from what's depicted in manga or in movies. And you actually said it's closer to like the way of the Jedi, right? Which is more like finding the balance and finding the balance in the world. And so that was interesting. When did you open your dojo in New York? How long have you had that place?
New York dojo is open around 1 year and a half months or 2 years around.
So it's very recent.
Yes, recent, right. Because after the COVID, it's after the COVID.
You opened it after?
Yes, because in the COVID, and the Tokyo dojo is closed.
Okay.
In the Japan dojo is closed. That's why I moved to the New York City and start the dojo.
Okay. So now what is the situation in Japan? Is it still closed?
Yes, it's still closed. It's a stable situation. It's COVID and whole restaurants or something. It's closed still now.
Okay. And then in New York, things are opening, I think. I saw.
New York it's open. That's why I have to go back to New York soon.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned. And then you mentioned that you also have retreats sometimes. So that's a group retreat, right? Can you talk about the retreats?
Yes. I'm planning a retreat and samurai retreat in Japan and sometime Mexico and sometime New York City. And the retreat is an important point is that training in the nature. This is important point, okay? And of course, there's a group lesson, but sometimes personal lesson. in the retreat.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
how many people are usually in a retreat? How big is the group?
Okay, around 10 around. 10
Okay.
people around.
And then how long, how many days is the retreat?
And the long one is around 1 week.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 week. And yes, and yeah, important point is in the nature. Training in the nature very important because our process is a training process is made from the nature element.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah, if we want to feel moving like a water and you are looking the water and looking at water and feeling the water and move. This is very important point. Okay. And for example, and how to stand like a wood or something, and stand like a tree, standing like a tree.
Mhm.
And if you connect with a tree and standing, it's very important point. Okay. But most important point is that first you are connect with the outside nature. Okay, and training. Connect with the outside nature and training. But most important thing is that in the retreat meaning is that most closer nature is your body. Your body is most closer nature. Nature is not just outside. Nature is not just outside because your body is a nature. Most closer nature.
Okay. So do you mean like connecting our body with the external? Is that what you
Yes,
mean?
yes. And in your body there is so many kind of element. For example,
Hi.
water and fire and wind or something. And if you want to control the element, you have to concentrate in your mind and you have to catch your nature. Because your body is nature. Mostly close nature is your body. Okay. And first you have to connect with the outside of the nature and in the retreat. And finally, you have to catch your answer in your mind. It's a nature. Yeah, nature is in your body. Yeah, yeah. This is a little bit difficult to explain in English. But yeah, but normally people just taking from the outside, nature and outside and catch a feeling outside. But most close nature is your body. This is a very important point for retreat.
But the environment is important also to bring out the nature in the body. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yes. It's a process. It needs a process. Okay. First, connect with the outside, and you have to catch your answer in your mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I would love to join a retreat. I love retreats. I also do retreats
Yeah.
myself, facilitate
Yes, yes,
retreats.
yeah. Hope to next week.
Yeah.
Next, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next year sometime. So if people want to connect with you, Instagram is best or the website, right?
Yes. Instagram or website. Right.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to
Yeah. Thank you so
answer.
much.
I look forward to our next class.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sensei.
Thank you very much. Thank you.